Remember when rice was simple? When your mum would buy a bag of long grain or basmati, cook it perfectly every time, and it would smell like it was supposed to smell, taste like it was supposed to taste? Rice has been feeding humanity for 10,000 years. It's one of the oldest, most fundamental foods on Earth. Water, heat, rice. 3 ingredients. That's all it should take to feed your family a nutritious meal. But walk into any British supermarket today, and something's changed. The bags look the same, the brands feel familiar, but open them up and you'll notice something's off. The grains are shorter than they used to be. The texture is different. That distinctive aroma you remember from childhood, it's barely there anymore. And if you look closely at the labels, really look, you'll see things that should never be anywhere near a bag of rice. Today, we're exposing 8 rice brands sold in UK supermarkets that have quietly betrayed the trust you've placed in them for decades. These aren't just quality issues. These are fundamental problems with how rice is being sourced, processed, and sold to British families. Will your weekly staple make the list, or have you been serving something that's not quite what the packaging promises? Let's find out. Coming in at number 8, we have Tilda, the brand that's been synonymous with basmati rice in Britain since the 1970s. The purple bag that's been in your cupboard for as long as you can remember. Tilda built their reputation on authentic basmati from the foothills of the Himalayas, on that distinctive nutty aroma, on grains that stayed separate and fluffy. But something's changed, and long-time customers have noticed. The rice doesn't smell the way it used to. That characteristic basmati fragrance, the one that should fill your kitchen the moment you open the bag, it's muted now. Barely there. And when you cook it, the grains don't behave the way proper basmati should. They clump together. They turn mushy if you're not watching every second. Here's what's happening. Tilda has been quietly blending their premium basmati with cheaper, shorter grain varieties. It's still technically basmati, so they're not lying on the label. But it's not the pure, long grain basmati they built their reputation on. They're mixing in lower grades to cut costs while maintaining premium pricing. One long-time customer said it perfectly, "I've been buying Tilda for 30 years. I thought I was losing my mind because it didn't cook the same anymore. Then I compared it to basmati from an Indian grocery and realized Tilda had completely changed. That's not evolution, that's cost-cutting, disguised as consistency. You're paying £4 or more for rice that's been diluted with cheaper varieties, and Tilda is betting you won't notice or won't care enough to switch." At number 7, we have Uncle Ben's, now rebranded as Ben's Original. The name changed after years of controversy, but unfortunately, the quality issues didn't improve. Their long grain rice has been a British cupboard staple for generations, marketed as quick, reliable, and family-friendly. But here's what they're not telling you. Ben's Original rice is heavily processed. It goes through parboiling, a process where rice is partially cooked under pressure before being dried and packaged. Now, parboiling isn't inherently terrible. It can actually help retain some nutrients. But the way Ben's Original does it strips away much of the rice's natural character. The result is rice that cooks consistently, yes, but tastes of almost nothing. It's bland, textureless, and completely forgettable. Then there's the packaging issue. Ben's Original rice comes in boxes with inner plastic bags, and multiple customers have reported finding the rice already opened or damaged when they get it home. One person said, "Bought a box, got it home, the inner bag had a tear in it. No idea how long it had been exposed to air." Another reported finding what looked like insect damage in their rice. When quality control is so poor that damaged products are making it to shelves, that tells you everything about the company's priorities. Ben's Original isn't dangerous, but it's the definition of mediocre. You're paying for brand recognition and getting rice that's been processed into blandness. Number 6. Asda Extra Special Basmati Rice. Another supermarket premium line that promises more than it delivers. The packaging looks elegant, The price is higher than standard ranges, and the description uses words like aromatic and authentic. But here's the scandal that should concern every British shopper. In 2021, testing revealed that some batches of supermarket basmati rice, including premium ranges, contained high levels of arsenic. Rice naturally absorbs arsenic from soil and water, but the levels found were concerning enough that food safety experts recommended limiting consumption, particularly for children. Asda Extra Special Basmati was among the brands tested, and while they met legal limits, the arsenic levels were on the higher end of what's considered acceptable. Here's what makes this particularly troubling. Arsenic is a known carcinogen. Long-term exposure, even at low levels, increases cancer risk. For families eating rice several times a week, which many British households do, this is a genuine health concern. But Asda doesn't mention any of this on their packaging. There's no information about arsenic testing, no guidance on safe consumption levels, no transparency whatsoever. Then there's the quality issue. Customers report that Asda Extra Special Basmati is inconsistent. One bag cooks beautifully, the next turns to mush. That suggests they're sourcing from multiple suppliers with varying quality standards and just slapping the extra special label on whatever meets their minimum requirements. You're paying premium prices for standard rice with potential health concerns and zero transparency. At number 5, we have Sainsbury's Taste the Difference Basmati rice. The pattern is becoming clear, isn't it? Supermarket premium ranges that charge more while delivering less. Sainsbury's Taste the Difference is supposed to represent superior quality, careful sourcing, and authentic flavors. But here's what you're actually getting. The rice is sourced from the same regions as their standard basmati, processed in the same facilities, and packaged with minimal difference. The only thing that's genuinely different is the price. You're paying 60% more for essentially the same product in fancier packaging. But what puts Sainsbury's at number 5 is the broken grain issue. Open a bag of Taste the Difference basmati and you'll find an unusually high percentage of broken grains. Proper basmati should be long, slender, and intact. Broken grains are a sign of poor handling, aggressive processing, or lower quality rice being mixed in. When you cook rice with lots of broken grains, it releases more starch, making the whole pot sticky and clumpy instead of light and fluffy. Multiple customers have complained about this exact problem. One said, paid extra for Taste the Difference, got rice that was half broken pieces, cooked up like porridge. Another said, the quality has gone downhill dramatically. Used to be good, now it's rubbish. That's the Sainsbury's story. A premium range that's premium in name only, charging you more for a product that's actually worse than some budget options. Number 4. Tesco Everyday Value Long Grain Rice. We've reached the budget end of the market, and this is where things get genuinely concerning. This rice costs less than £1 for a kilogram. Think about that for a moment. Rice has to be grown, harvested, processed, packaged, shipped halfway around the world, and sold. And somehow, after everyone in that supply chain takes their cut, it still costs less than £1. How is that possible? What corners are being cut? The answer is in the quality, or rather, the complete lack of it. Tesco. Everyday value rice is the absolute bottom of the barrel. The grains are short, irregular, and often broken. The rice has no aroma whatsoever. When you cook it, it turns into a sticky, gluey mass that bears little resemblance to what rice should be. But here's what's really concerning. Where is this rice coming from? Tesco doesn't specify the country of origin clearly. The label says packed in the UK, which tells you nothing about where it was grown. When brands are vague about sourcing, it's usually because they're buying the cheapest rice available from wherever happens to be cheapest that month. That could be rice grown with pesticides that are banned in Europe. It could be rice from regions with high arsenic levels in the soil. It could be rice that's been sitting in warehouses for months or years. You have no way of knowing. and Tesco isn't telling you. One customer described it brutally: tastes like cardboard, cooks like glue, wouldn't feed it to my dog. That's not just poor quality. That's a product that shouldn't be on shelves. Tesco. Everyday value rice is cheap for a reason, and that reason should concern every family buying it. If you're still watching and finding this investigation valuable, please hit that subscribe button for UK Food Exposed and ring the bell. Your support helps us continue exposing what British families are really buying and holding these brands accountable. Now, let's get into the top 3. This is where the betrayal gets even worse. At number 3, we have Veetee rice, the microwavable rice pouches that have become a staple of quick British meals. 2 minutes in the microwave and you've got rice. It's convenient, it's consistent, and it's everywhere. But here's what you're actually eating. Veetee rice is pre-cooked, which means it's been boiled, then cooled, then packaged, then reheated when you microwave it. That process requires preservatives and stabilizers to keep the rice from spoiling. Check the ingredient list and you'll see things that should never be in rice. Sunflower oil to keep the grains separate. Citric acid as a preservative. Sometimes emulsifiers and anti-caking agents. This isn't rice anymore. It's a rice-based convenience product. Then there's the texture issue that no amount of processing can hide. Veetee rice is mushy. It's overcooked by design because it has to survive the pre-cooking, cooling, storage, and reheating process. The result is rice that's lost all its natural texture and character. But what really puts Veetee at number 3 is the price versus value calculation. You're paying roughly £1.50 for 250 grams of pre-cooked rice. That's £6 per kilogram. Compare that to buying proper rice at £2 per kilogram and cooking it yourself. You're paying 3 times more for significantly lower quality. One person calculated it perfectly. I was spending £6 a week on Veetee pouches, switched to cooking rice properly, and now spend £2 a month. The rice tastes better, and I'm saving over £20 a month. Veetee isn't just poor quality. It's a poverty trap disguised as convenience. You're paying premium prices for processed rice that's been stripped of everything that makes rice worth eating. Number 2. Tilda microwave rice. Yes, Tilda appears twice on this list, and this time it's even worse. Tilda built their reputation on premium basmati. Their microwave range trades on that reputation while delivering something completely different. These pouches contain pre-cooked rice with added ingredients that have nothing to do with authentic basmati. Let's look at their basmati and wild rice pouch. The ingredients list includes rapeseed oil, salt, and natural flavorings. Why does rice need oil, salt, and flavorings? Because the rice itself has been so heavily processed that it needs these additions to have any taste at all. Then there's the wild rice component. Wild rice sounds healthy and premium, but it's used here as a cheap filler. The pouch is mostly basmati, but they've added wild rice to bulk it out and create the illusion of a premium product. But here's what really earns Tilda microwave rice the number 2 spot: the price. You're paying £2 or more for 250 grams of pre-cooked rice with added oils and flavorings. That's £8 per kilogram. For that price, you could buy the finest organic basmati available and cook it fresh. Instead, you're getting processed rice in a plastic pouch, and you're paying luxury prices for it. Multiple customers have complained about the quality declining over the years. One said, "These used to be decent for a quick meal. Now they taste artificial and the rice is mushy." Another said, "Paid Tilda prices expecting Tilda quality. Got disappointing slop." That's the Tilda microwave problem. They're using their premium brand reputation to sell an inferior product at inflated prices, and they're betting you'll keep buying because the name feels trustworthy. And here we are. Number 1. The absolute worst rice brand you can buy in UK supermarkets. The one that represents the biggest gap between marketing and reality, between what you think you're buying and what you're actually getting. It's Kohinoor Super Basmati Rice. This is going to surprise people because Kohinoor positions itself as an authentic Indian brand, as the real deal, as rice that understands basmati because it comes from basmati's homeland. The packaging is covered in imagery of the Himalayas and traditional farming. The marketing emphasizes heritage, authenticity, and premium quality. But here's the truth that testing and customer experience has revealed. Kohinoor Super Basmati is one of the most adulterated rice brands on the UK market. Independent testing has found that Kohinoor regularly mixes cheaper, non-basmati rice into their bags. They're not just blending different grades of basmati like Tilda, they're adding completely different types of rice and still calling it basmati. This is fraud. It's deliberate mislabeling designed to maximize profit while delivering a fundamentally different product than what's advertised. Then there's the pesticide issue. Testing has found pesticide residues in Kohinoor rice at levels that, while technically legal, are concerning for regular consumption. These are pesticides that are banned in European agriculture but still used in some rice-growing regions. When you're eating rice several times a week, these residues accumulate in your body. But what makes Kohinoor #1 is the complete betrayal of trust. This is a brand that markets itself as authentic, as connected to basmati's heritage, as understanding rice in a way Western brands don't. British families, particularly those from South Asian backgrounds, have trusted Kohinoor because it feels like the real thing, and they've been systematically deceived. One customer said, "My family has been buying Kohinoor for 20 years because we thought it was authentic Indian basmati. Found out it's been adulterated this whole time. Feel completely betrayed. That's not just poor quality. That's fraud dressed up as authenticity." So there you have it. 8 rice brands that are failing British families. From Tilda's quiet quality decline to Kohinoor's outright adulteration, these brands represent a systematic failure to deliver honest, quality rice. But here's what you can do instead. Stop buying branded rice from supermarkets. I know that sounds extreme, but the quality and value are genuinely better elsewhere. Go to your local Asian grocery store, whether that's Indian, Pakistani, Chinese, or Thai. They sell rice in larger quantities, usually 5 or 10 kilogram bags, and the quality is incomparably better. You'll pay £10 to £15 for 10 kilograms of proper basmati or jasmine rice. That's £1 to £1.50 per kilogram, compared to £3 to £4 per kilogram at supermarkets. The rice will be fresher, more aromatic, and actually taste like it's supposed to. Look for brands like Lal Killa, Dawat, or Royal for basmati. For jasmine rice, look for Golden Phoenix or Three Ladies. These are brands that Asian communities actually use, which tells you everything about their quality. If you must buy from supermarkets, choose Waitrose Dutchy Organic Basmati. It's not perfect, but it's significantly better than the options we've discussed. The sourcing is more transparent, the quality is more consistent, and the organic certification means lower pesticide residues. Or buy Tesco Finest Arborio if you're making risotto. It's one of the few supermarket rice products that's actually decent quality. But honestly, the best option is to find a good Asian grocery and buy rice the way it's meant to be bought. In larger quantities, from suppliers who understand rice, at prices that reflect actual value rather than brand markup. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The British rice market has become a masterclass in how to extract maximum profit while delivering minimum quality. Brands have realized they can trade on decades of reputation while quietly degrading their products. They can charge premium prices for standard or even substandard rice. They can add oils and flavorings and preservatives and call it convenience. They can mix in cheaper varieties and bet you won't notice. And for years, they've been right. Most people haven't noticed or haven't cared enough to change. But you know better now. You know that Tilda isn't what it was. You know that Kohinoor is selling you adulterated rice. You know that Veetee is charging you 3 times what rice should cost for a processed product that's lost everything that makes rice worth eating. Every time you buy these brands, you're telling them this is acceptable, that you'll pay for marketing instead of quality. that you'll accept adulteration and processing and price gouging without pushing back. But when you buy from Asian groceries, when you choose brands that communities actually trust, when you cook rice properly instead of microwaving pouches, you're voting with your wallet. You're saying quality matters. You're saying you won't settle for corporate shortcuts. The British public deserves honest rice. Rice that's actually what the label says it is. Rice that hasn't been processed into blandness or adulterated with cheaper varieties. Rice that feeds your family properly without pesticide residues or added chemicals. So check your cupboards tonight. If you've got any of these 8 brands, use them up, but don't buy them again. Next time you need rice, find your nearest Asian grocery. Ask them what they recommend. Buy a proper bag of basmati or jasmine rice. Learn to cook it properly. It takes 20 minutes. And it's not difficult. Your family will taste the difference. Your wallet will thank you. And you'll wonder why you ever settled for supermarket rice in the first place. What are your thoughts? Have you noticed your rice brand declining in quality? Did we get it right? Drop your experiences in the comments below. And if you found this investigation helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Hit that subscribe button for UK Food Exposed and ring the bell so you never miss when we expose what's really in your food. Because British families deserve the truth, and you deserve to know what you're really buying. Thanks for watching. And remember, demand real food, not corporate deception.